Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. We finally got the breakdown of all 4 commander decks for the Final Fantasy set, and today we're going to start by looking at the first one, which is the Final Fantasy VI, aka Revival Trance, the red, white, and black deck. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe because we're going to be uploading a video breaking down each of the decks for the next couple of days. So today, Final Fantasy VI, come back tomorrow for Final Fantasy VII, the day after that for Final Fantasy X, and on Friday, the last day of the week, we're going to have the Scions and Spellcraft. So please make sure to subscribe. You can do that. Comment down below what you guys think of every single one of the decks, but today we're focusing on the Final Fantasy VI one, so I'd love to know your thoughts on that one. And I'm a couple days late on uploading this video compared to all the other YouTubers. This has been out a couple hours or days, I don't know. I was busy with work and stuff, so I missed my chance on uploading this immediately. So if you guys want to help out the channel, the best way to do that is to give the video a thumbs up and to comment. It's going to help with that YouTube algorithm to hopefully get this video on more people's algorithm. Let's jump right into it. I don't want to waste more of anyone's time. We are looking at Revival Trance, Final Fantasy VI. The ones I'm most excited for thematically from the gameplay or from the games themselves are Final Fantasy 7 and 10, but gameplay wise within Magic, I actually don't know what each of them do. So this is going to be our first time kind of learning what they're all about. So I'll jump right in. As usual, just a quick breakdown here. Every commander deck, 100 cards, one foil, one traditional foil phase commander, one featured commander, and then 98 non-foil, and then you have the 10 tokens. You get the collector booster sample packs and all that too, but there is obviously a collector version of them as well, which are way more expensive. But if you guys are looking to get one where they are all foil, every single card in the 100 card deck, you can get these versions as well. I did not pick those up. So let's jump right into it. Revival Trance, Final Fantasy VI, the first is the commander. The main commander is Terra, Herald of Hope. So she has the ability of to trance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you mill 2 cards, and then Terra gains flying until the end of turn. Whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may spend 2 additional, and when you do, you can return a target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So pretty simple, you mill cards into your graveyard, and then you can spend to bring them back. So pretty cool here, very simple, I like that as well. One of my biggest concerns about the Final Fantasy set is that the whole point of it is to bring new players to Magic the Gathering who are fans of Final Fantasy. So you definitely want to make sure that the commander decks are not too complex, which some of the cards seem complex, but I'm curious to know how the commanders are, and we're going to find out together. Your secondary commander is Celeste. I hope that's how you say the name, or Celeste, I don't know. Rune Knight. When she enters, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards plus 1. Pretty cool. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Pretty simple there. So let's look at the quick breakdown here. Lots of 2s, 3s, and 4 costs here. Not too many 1s, and 5 and up is a little bit lower, which is good. I feel like that's a pretty well balanced here. Obviously, this is a white, black, and red deck. Seems pretty well balanced here. 13 red, 15 black, 8 white, and 14 multicolor. Okay, not too bad. 37 lands, lots of creatures in this deck. Artifacts, instants, sorceries are not too bad. Okay, so seems like a very well balanced deck in my opinion. It's not too heavy on one color. Seems fairly well balanced. Now let's look at all the cards here. So these are all of them. I'm so excited for this to see. So I will say before we jump into it, I have played Final Fantasy VI when I was a child. So I haven't played it as an adult in a very long time. So a lot of these things I'm hoping I remember, but there's probably also a lot of it that I don't. And if I remember correctly, Final Fantasy VI was one of the ones that you can rename all the characters. So I'm pretty sure I renamed all of them when I played them as a kid. So I don't remember who's who. So it's going to be very interesting to see if I can remember a lot of the characters as we go through it. So we already looked at the first 2 creatures. Let's go to the next one. Xian, Vengeful Samurai. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Okay, which is really good with the commander. He has double strike. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter. That's really good. So you're going to be able to play him fairly quickly if you have Terra out. With Terra milling cards out, he's going to get cheap very quick, and then you're going to get to play him as a 3/3 with double strike, and he's going to get stronger the more Terra does herself. So that's cool. General Leo Christophe. When this card enters, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then put a +1/+1 counter on this for each creature you control. Nice. Interceptor's Shadow Hound. Seems like a pretty simple card here. Menace, assassins you control have menace, and whenever you attack with one or more legendary creature, you may pay 2 and a black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Shadow. Oh, I remember Shadow. I remember this character. Death Touch, and he has Throw. Whenever Shadow deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value of the sacrificed permanent. Siegfried is the next one. Menace. When he enters, mill 3 cards, then put X +1/+1 counter on this card, where X is twice the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, so very much I feel like so far I'm only 5 cards in, but pretty simple stuff here, guys. It's all graveyard milling, and your creatures get stronger, or you take advantage of the graveyard being full, or having cards come out of the graveyard. So I like it. It's a really simple deck. It feels like this is pretty player-friendly, new player-friendly, but let's keep going here. Gal, the Feral Youth. I don't remember this character at all. He has Rage. Whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if a card left in your graveyard this turn, Gal deals combat damage equal to its power to each opponent. Let me see if I zoom in 1 notch. Nope, that's not going to work for you guys. I'm sorry. Go-Go, Mysterious Mime. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have Go-Go become a copy of another target creature you control until end of turn. Except its name is Go-Go Mysterious Mime, so this card. If you do, this card and that creature each get +2 attack and gain haste until end of turn, and attack this turn if able. Sabin, I remember Sabin. He was one of my favorites. Pro wrestler Chris Sabin, if you guys don't know, he named himself because of this character. Here we go. Double Strike, Blitz, 2 and 2 red. Discard a card. If you cast a spell for its Blitz cost, it gains haste. And when this creature dies... Okay, that's just the explanation of Blitz, or whatever. We know how this works. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its Blitz ability. Straggle and Realm. Oh my god, that's a lot of text. Sketch and Love, 2 and a red, and tap target opponent exile cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant, sorcery, or a creature. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice the creature, activate only as a sorcery. So I didn't actually check how many of these are rares and mythics. So that's 1 mythic there. That's 2 rare. Just curious here how many we have. 2 rares so far, 2 mythics, sorry, so far. Ooh, the Esper Veligarmanda. This is another saga, a saga summon. So if you guys haven't seen those yet, or if you haven't heard about it, one of the new things with Final Fantasy is that we have creature sagas. So they are basically the way to do summons. You're going to play the card. They're only there for a set amount of time. So in this example, they're only there for 4 turns. Each turn, they get a special thing that happens on each of them. But at the end, like a saga, it goes away. Really, really cool. I'm not going to read all of this just because it's a lot of text, but let's keep going here. Umaru, the Raging Yeti. That's just another rare. Trample, beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1 at random. Oh, okay, at random. Interesting, and it's a 6/6. Then we got Bannon, the Returner's Leader. He has Prey. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than the battlefield this turn. Whenever you attack, you may pay 1, and if you do, you discard a card, and if you do, draw a card as well. Edgar, I remember Edgar. Once during each of your turn. Is that not even a mythic again? Interesting. So 2 mythics so far only in this deck. Once during each of your turn, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters tapped. And then he has Tools. Whenever Edgar attacks, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Nice. And Kefka. Okay, I was curious about this. So they obviously talked a lot about Kefka being one of the big cards and a big bad of Final Fantasy. They actually do have a version of him in here too, so I was curious about that. So it's not just a hero deck, it is Final Fantasy VI, so they are putting heroes and villains, and there's the main villain of Final Fantasy VI, which is Kefka. During your turn, he has Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, and it's just a rare, wow. At the beginning of your end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Oh my god. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana value. Wow, that seems like a really, really strong card. It is an expensive one to play. A red, a black, and 5 colorless. There's Lock, or Locky, depending on how I think I've always called him Lock. Can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Nice. And he has Mug. Whenever a lock attacks, each player mills a card. If a land card was milled this way, create a treasure token until end of turn. You may cast a spell from among those. Nice. There's Mog the Moogle. Love this little guy. Let me just scroll down here. Mog the Moogle, Lifelink, and he has Dance. Very cheap one here. Oh, sorry. Was Lock also just a rare? Okay. Dance. At the beginning of your end step, each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way draws a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, you create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then if a non-creature card was discarded this way, put a +1/+1 counter on each Moogle you control. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to, let me see, draw a card. So I'm guessing there's going to be a way to put a lot of Moogles on the board outside of that. Setzer, whenever he enters, create the Blackjack legendary 3/3 colorless vehicle artifact token with flying and crew 2. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, flip a coin. Whenever you win a coin flip, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. Interesting. I know this is something that's always been there, but I don't remember the last time I've seen it in a recent deck to be able to flip a coin. That is something that I haven't seen in a while. I know it's something that exists in the world of Magic, but from Bloomburrow to now, I think this is the first time. I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure this is the first time we're seeing a coin flip ability in like a pre-con commander deck. The Warring Triad. Flying, Trample, and Haste. Was that just... sorry. Well, that was another rare. Flying, Trample, and Haste. As long as there are fewer than 8 cards in your graveyard, this card isn't a creature. Mill a card. Target player adds 1 mana of any color. Nice. Okay, so again, lots of work here with the stuff. Sun Titan is a classic. We've seen this one multiple times from what I remember. Enters or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Archfiend of Depravity. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures they control that then sacrifice the rest. There's a board wipe. Okay, good. We've got 1. That's a mythic, by the way. So we're at 3 mythic with the Sun Titan. This one's just a rare. Sepulchral Primordial. I hope I said that right. Intimidate. Okay, and when this creature enters, for each opponent, you may put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Combustible Gearhulk, we see multiple times. That's the 4th mythic here. First strike, when this creature enters, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't, you mill 3 cards. Then this creature deals damage to that player equal to the total mana of those cards. I remember I've seen this one multiple times. Flare of the Hatebound. Oh, I remember this creature. Undying. Awesome. And then whenever this creature or another creature enters from your graveyard, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And sorry, was that a mythic? No, that one. Combustible is, which, did I count combustible? Or is yeah, so that was number 4. Ruin Grinder. Menace, when this creature dies, each player may discard their hand and then draw 7 cards. And has mountain cycling as well. Fantastic. Priest of Fell Rites. Ooh, I don't remember this at all. What is this picture? Pay 3 life, sacrifice this creature, return a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery, and has Unearth 3 and 1 white and a black, I think, if I can see that correctly. Very small on my screen. Solemn Simulacrum. We've seen this one before, but again, now it's the art, the original little thing. If you guys have seen Final Fantasy VI's intro, there's a little robot thing, the mech. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle, and when this creature dies, you may draw a card. Very strong there. Angel of the Ruins. Flying, when this creature enters, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments, and it has Plane Cycle. Palace Jailer, another uncommon. When this creature enters, you become the Monarch. When this creature enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. Okay, interesting. Morbid Opportunist, we've seen that one before, but a new art for this one. Whenever 1 or more creature dies, draw a card. This ability can only trigger once per each turn. Pitiless Plunderer, we actually saw this one in the Mystery Boosters. It was like a pirate, but it's obviously a little bit different. Well, it's still a human pirate, but different art here as well. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Pretty simple stuff there. Stitcher's Supplier. When this creature enters or dies, mill 3 cards. Put the top, yeah, pretty simple. It has Anger, which is surprising a creature here, but it's a 2/2 with haste. As long as this card is in your graveyard and you control a mountain, creatures you control all have haste. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that makes so much more sense. So that's not a creature you want on the board. It's something you want in your graveyard. Gives all of your creatures haste. Dang, that's pretty good. Is that just an uncommon? feel like that's going to be very popular. Meteor Golem. When this creature enters, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. And then Milliken is the last one. Mill a card and add a colorless. Okay, so creature-wise, not too bad. Very focused on the graveyard, which again, that's the whole point of this deck, so it makes sense. It feels typical, but I'm excited to see someone who is new to Magic picking this up and immediately getting the vibes of how mill and graveyard work. I feel like it's going to be a very popular deck to play. For me, I just feel like it's a very common play style, so I'm not like super pumped about it, but I mean, it's Final Fantasy, so I'm excited for it. It's just not up there as like the most hype just from the creature side. Looking at the instant cards, Esper to Magicite, exile each opponent. I love the art with Kefka. Each opponent as graveyard. When you do, choose up to one target creature card, exile this way. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an artifact and it loses all other card types. Not bad. Bedevil, we've seen a couple times. You just get to destroy one thing. Launching Mad, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. You get to draw 2 cards. Oh, sorry, Laughing Mad, not launching. Laughing Mad. And then Flashback 3 in red, which means you could play it from the graveyard, I think. Yes. Big Score. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens. So that's not bad. Crackling Doom. Deal 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. And then Mortify is our last one. Destroy a target creature or an enchantment. Not bad. We have the artifacts here. I'll come back to. I just wanted to make sure. So we have some sorceries. Rejoin the fight. Mill 3 cards. Then starting with the next opponent in turn order, each opponent chooses a creature card in your graveyard that hasn't been chosen. Return each card chosen this way to the battlefield under your control. Okay, that's pretty cool. So your opponents choose which one of your cards come back onto the board. So if you do it in a way, let's say you're playing a 4-player game and you only have 3 creatures in your graveyard, they're going to force all 3 of them to come back. So that's not bad at all. Then we got Snort. I love the art. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. Then Snort deals 5 damage to each opponent who discarded their hand this way and has flashback. Tragic Arrogance. For each player, you choose from among the permanents that player controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents they control. I love that. Reanimate. Put a target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You probably want to use it yourself. You lose life equal to its mana value. Ooh, okay. I mean, it's only a 1. It's just a 1 black, so pretty strong. So making you lose your life for that makes a lot of sense. Rise of the Dark Realms. Oh, I love that. Look, it's all the characters as a squad. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Whoa. Okay. That is a mythic. Yeah, okay, we're at mythic number 5 now. That is a strong card, my friends. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Wow. Okay, that is going to be really strong. It's a 9-cost card, so you can't play it early, but still, that's insane. You board wipe on one turn, and on the next turn, you bring them all back. That could be insane. Legions to Ashes. Exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls with the same name as the permanent. Okay, pretty simple. Oh my goodness. 3 white, 2 black, 2 red. This better be good. Ruinous Ultimatum. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponent's control. Oh my goodness. So you destroy everything except your stuff. Whew, okay. The sorceries here are pretty insane. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, pretty simple. And then return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Threshold, return that card from your graveyard to the battlefield instead. If 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. Okay, the sorceries here really made this deck way more interesting in my opinion. Went from, oh, not bad, to, man, I want to pull this off. Like, if I'm able to pull off the Rise of the Dark Realms or even the Ruinous Ultimatum, these 2 cards just seem like such fun cards to play in the game. So yeah, that really changes my opinions real quickly on how interested I am in playing this one. Then we got the lands. I'm going to guess it's just the usual stuff. Yeah, just the usual. I'm sure if anyone had a really good memory of Final Fantasy VI, all these pictures are probably going to blow their mind. I feel like that's hopefully going to happen with me when I look at the Final Fantasy 7 and 10, because those are the 2 I've played the most. So yeah, those are really cool, I'm for sure. Let's look at the artifacts, and then we'll do a quick review. Coin of Fate. When this artifact enters, you survey, and then you can spend 3 and a white and tap, exile 2 creature cards from your graveyard, sacrifice this artifact, and an opponent chooses one of the exile cards, you put that card on the bottom of your library and return the other to the battlefield tapped, and you become the monarch. Okay, pretty cool. Falcon Airship Restored. Flying, whenever the Falcon deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, return a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and you can spend 4 and a black, return this creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And it has crew 2. Then we have the Key to the City. You could tap to discard a card up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever this artifact becomes untapped, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, you draw a card. The Phoenix Down, love that. If you guys don't know, that's a very common item in the Final Fantasy world. Spend 1 and a white, exile this artifact, choose 1. Return a target creature card with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. Makes sense. That's the whole point of what a Phoenix Down does, is revive people, so you get to revive. The Arcane Signet is there. Commander Sphere, add 1 mana of any color in your commander color, and then sacrifice this to draw a card. The Mind Stone, love the art on this one. Add 1 colorless. The Soul Ring is back. The Swift Boots are back. Swift Foot Boots, same thing. Hexproof and Haste. Talisman of Conviction, add a colorless, or you could use red or white, but it hurts you. Talisman of Indulgence, same idea as the Conviction. And then the Wayfarer's Bauble, you can spend 2 and tap, sacrifice this artifact, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tap, and then shuffle. And there you have it, everybody. Here are the tokens. There's the Mughals, and then the Blackjack with the Monarch on the back. Is that it? Let me see here. 4 copies. Okay, so you're getting 4 of these ones. The one side copy, one side Moogle. We're getting 4 Treasure and Mughals, and then 2 of the Blackjack and the Monarch. And that, everybody, is the Revival Trance deck. Overall, my thoughts is it seems really simple, which is what you want. So I feel like it's a really good way to get players in, and that's what we're hoping for. On my end, outside of the couple sorceries and some of the characters, and of course the art of Final Fantasy, this deck, so the theme of Final Fantasy VI is exciting. The sorceries are really cool, but the idea of a graveyard deck, milling in graveyard, I feel like it's getting way too common. This is the 3rd set in a row that we have that, because we had a mill graveyard commander deck with Aether Drift, we had one with Dragonstorm, and now we have one with Final Fantasy. I'm going to give them a pass because a lot of the people who are going to be buying this one probably didn't even know Aether Drift and Dragonstorm existed, so it makes sense to kind of just have something that works for new players. So in that sense, I'm not upset. It's just more for me. It's not going to be the first one I want to play because I've done this multiple times already. Even though I do really like it, it's just nothing new to me. So those are my thoughts on this deck. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got all the way to this point of the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe because tomorrow we'll be back with Final Fantasy VII's Commander deck. And give the video a thumbs up like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.